Hello everyone, Space Toyster here, and welcome to The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the remastered version that came out for the Switch recently. It's a pretty faithful remake of the original game from the Game Boy Color, released back in '93. Link's Awakening was the very first Zelda I ever played, and I was excited to play through this one again. My recording for this one, the audio anyway, it's all done after the fact, so I don't know how much to speak around about what. I decided to just play on normal mode and leave Link's name alone, so that way everything would be nice and straightforward. And, not too confusing. What a relief! I thought you'd never wake up. You were tossing and turning. What? Zelda? No, my name's Marin. You must still be feeling a little woozy. You are on Kahoolant Island. Well, that's good to know. Is this a stand for something? It says Goomba. And it stands. Follow the lane south to reach the beach where I found you. Since you washed ashore, lots of nasty monsters have been in the area, so be careful, okay? Well, Link, you finally snapped out of it. Name's Terran. Hope you're feeling better. What? How did I know your name? You think it's weird, eh? Well, I saw it on the back of the shield. Yeah, Link's known for writing his name on things. You got your shield back. Hold R to repel enemies with it. Yeah, the only thing I knew about the game going forward is that they changed the art style to make it look adorable. But they also changed the orchestration. I think it sounds a little bit worse, to be perfectly honest. Well, some of the times. Like, on that loading screen thing was a bit worse, but it's better now, yeah. Hey man, when you want to save, hit up the system screen. You get there by opening the subscreen with plus, then pressing R to get to the system screen. Don't ask me what that means. I'm just a kid. Yeah, one of the best improvements they made to this game is that everything has dedicated buttons, or a lot of things do anyway. Yahoo! I'm fine! And you? Wait, was her name seriously Grandma Yahoo? How to say? Please call. Outside. It seems that old man Ulrira is a shy guy in person. Very shy guy. Oh, okay. I was worried I didn't try to use his phone. I think in the original Link's Awakening, if you call from his phone, you get some weird message. I forget what it's about exactly. Alright, anyway, you can always go in. Bring, hello, it's me, Ulrira. Ask me anything about the island. If you get lost, give me a call. You know, there is a library in the village that might have some good information for you. Talk to you later. Click. But yeah, the phone booths, they're your hint system. If you're ever lost, go into a phone booth and talk to Ulrira. He somehow always knows exactly what you need to do. Somehow. I don't know how. Makeup, jewels, dresses, I want it all. Sigh, and some new accessories would be nice. Oh ho ho, my Bow Wow is so proud of his fine fur coat. He doesn't have a fur coat though. Yeah, anyway, so all my audio for this Let's Play, I've done it in post-commentary. I didn't get the chance to record it as I was playing. That would have been handier, but it's nice to be able to go through and add it in post. I hear that when you're running out of hearts, you better go find a big fairy. Why? I have no idea. I'm just a kid. I did try the hero mode on my own, and it was horrible. I heard that you can press minus to look at the island map. Not only that, you can stick pins in it with A and remember stuff with X. But I don't understand what they mean by that. Ooh, yeah, so this is the map. And yeah, you can stick in pins with A and then it'll always bring stuff up. There's Talk with Marin, and it marks where you found pieces of hearts and secret seashells. Something I should have utilized much later on. But whatever. Anyway, this is the village library. It's got a bunch of hint books. This is a bookshelf. What? You can see that? Okay. Yeah, I was trying to look at the picture up there. Selecting the item that's right for you. Read this book. The subscreen you can get to with the plus sign is very useful. You can select your favorite items for the X and Y buttons there. Try many different things to find out what's right for you. Maps and Memories Guidebook. You can see an island map by pressing minus. Zoom in or out with the R button. The rough parts of the map are places you have not yet visited. If there's a place you want to remember for later, you can press A to mark it with a pin. Press the X to look back on your adventure, revisiting memories of things you learned or conversations you had. How convenient! Secrets of the Whirling Blade. The whirling blade technique has been handed down from generation to generation by the family of the hero. To use it, hold down B and build up your power. When you have enough, you can release it. Can you master this? It seems pretty easy. How to handle your shield like a pro. If you hold down R, you can defend yourself from enemy attacks, and you can push enemies too. Besides the standard shield, there is also a mirrored variety that can reflect beams. I read that kind of weird, but whatever. Atlas of Kahoolant Island. You can look up the name of a place. Do you want to look at this map? Oh yeah, this is a map. It's very pretty. Unfortunately, Kahoolant is pretty small. This is a very faithful remake, though. If you played the Game Boy Advance one, or not Game Boy Advance, but Game Boy Color one, Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Kahoolant. Do you really want to read it? Yes, I do. Gasp! What's this? You can't read the tiny print without the aid of a magnifying glass. Where would you get one of those? Maybe if you lend some people a hand, they'll lend you a lens. But, yeah, if you played the original game, you'll know exactly where to go on here. The properties of warp points. There are some warp points on Kahoolant Island. You can warp to and fro using these spots. You can warp only to a point you have stood on with your own 2 feet. Handy. Fun with bombs. Read this book. After you put a bomb down, you can pick it up by pressing A again. You can then throw it by pushing A one more time. Did you know that? Yeah, it's weird they put a tutorial for bombs here when you can't get them until after the second dungeon. Like, I think in the original game you could buy them before going to the first. Yeah, you go right to the Tail Cave, down to Tunboro Shores. I tried to test out the shield here, but my dyslexic ass mixed up L and R. And then, yeah, I was double checking to make sure it was R, and then that's when I realized I had been pressing L instead of R. That the shield is very handy, and I love that they gave it a dedicated button. And Link is pretty quick with it too. Like, if you put the shield up while an attack is on its way to hit you, he blocks it. He blocks it really, really well. And one thing you may have noticed right away, or, well, on the way here, is that unlike in the original Game Boy version, there are no screens. Everything is interconnected. It's a pretty big change. I love it. Hoot, hoot! So, you are the lad who owns the sword. Now I understand why the monsters are starting to act so violently. A courageous lad has come to wake the windfish. It is said that you cannot leave this island unless you wake the windfish. You should now go north to the mysterious forest. I will wait for you there. Hoot. Yeah, I don't like the owl. Anyway, I heard that Link's Awakening was originally going to be a remake of the... I think it was... Oh, you found your sword. It must be yours because it has your name engraved on it. Yep. You can swing it with B to attack any enemies in your path. I heard it was going to be a remake of A Link to the Past, I think it was. But they couldn't get it to work on the Game Boy, so they ended up doing something completely different. And it ended up turning out pretty good. Beware of the sea urchins. Don't touch them with your bare hands. Oh, but I love to touch things with my bare hands. I mean, that's why I got bare hands in the first place. But yeah, they made a lot of quality of life upgrades with this game, like the map, or well, not the map, but like the fact that everything is interconnected on the overworld at least, so that way you don't have to worry about everything going into a separate screen. That is very handy. And then the sword and shield having their own dedicated buttons, whereas in the original one you had to assign them to a usable button. X and Y would be for reference in this game. Now look at that, the first piece of heart. Very handy. I did try hero mode on my own after I finished recording the parts to this. There's a piece of art. The hero mode is very punishing because in order to make progress on hero mode, well, not to make progress, well, in hero mode they don't drop hearts and enemies deal more damage, so they're punishing you extra hard for getting hit. You found a secret seashell, but what do you do with it? Yeah. So the first thing to keep in mind about secret seashells is that there are 50 of them now instead of the original game's 25. And when you found 20 in the original game, that was what you used. You traded them in to get an upgraded sword. Now that there are 50, though, you need to get at least 40 of them to upgrade your sword. I'm not too sure what you get if you get all 50 of them. I'll have to look it up and mention it in a later part. But you want to find at least 40. I also added more pieces of parts, I've noticed. Hey, welcome! See something you like? Just bring it here. Yeah, in the original Link's Awakening, you could steal stuff. You'd get the guy to turn around and then you'd walk out the door. I was testing to see if you could walk out in time, but I don't know if you can steal in this one. I haven't been able to pull it off, but it might be possible. Hi! Taryn went to the forest to look for toadstools, but I'd rather sing. Listen to this. It's called the Ballad of the Windfish. It's a very pretty song. Here sleeps the flying rooster. It doesn't budge an inch. And I do wish I had recorded this. Well, it seems that after you save, you will start at the last place you saved. Well, this is the dungeon, where you start at the entrance. I'm not really sure why that is, because I'm just a kid. Yeah, I wish I had recorded the audio while I was playing. That would have been a lot handier and easier to edit. But you know what? I'm also glad to have the opportunity to reflect on things as I go through. So, you know, little column A, little column B. With 4 boys who look alike, even I get confused sometimes. By the way, my baby wants a Yoshi doll. I saw one at the trendy game, but I couldn't get it. Yep, those are my boys. I'm Popple. Pleased to meet ya. I'll be lost in the hills later, so keep a lookout for me, here? Sir, don't spoil the story. That's my job. But all in all, yeah, I was really glad to have the opportunity to play Link's Awakening again. It's definitely one of my favorite Zeldas, and that's mostly because it was my first one. You never forget your first. Okay, so yeah, the trendy game, they changed it up a little bit. Trendy game, 1 plate, 10 rubies. The buttons move the crane. The rest is just timing. Go over to the buttons to play. Good luck! Yeah, I don't think I did very good on this one. But you press the X button to move it up. Yeah, you got to see the instructions there in the top right. And then you go over like that. And as you can see, I messed up pretty badly. The trendy game is definitely worth visiting periodically throughout the adventure. In this version, he's going to have new stuff on display every time you go in, so it's always handy. You can also use the trendy game to grind for rupees. That purple rupee that was on the far right, that one is, yeah, the purple rupee is worth 50, and you can basically farm it to get as much money as you will ever need. You can pretty much do this to get the shovel and the piece of art that they had at the shop, and then after you buy those, he's also going to sell the bow, which you will need to buy, but you can put that off until the 5th dungeon. Anyway, here I decided to play smart, and I went for the purple rupee first instead. So that way I can afford that way I could afford more plays to try and get the Yoshi doll and the piece of heart now too. And it worked out really well. The trendy game, they made it a bit worse. Ooh, 50 rupees. Now, you don't actually have to go up and talk to him. Yeah, I decided to save before each attempt, so that way I could keep reloading. But I ended up not even reloading at all, so it was a bit weird. The buttons move the crane, the rest is just timing, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I figure, you know what, let's just go ahead and leave this in. You do need to grab the Yoshi doll, and well, you don't have to grab the piece of heart, but you do need to get the Yoshi doll. Unlike in future Zelda titles, the trading sequence in Link's Awakening is not necessary. Wait, that worked? Almost. But yeah, with the trendy game this time around, it's possible for the things you pick up to fall out on its way to drop them off. You know, just like those real-world crane games. Because, you know, everyone just loves that part of the crane game. Although, I got lucky that time. I was surprised it didn't drop the Yoshi doll. You know, it makes adorable noises. And the fact that it's a Yoshi doll in here, that is not a change at all. It was originally a Yoshi doll in the original game too. They gave it a description saying something along the lines of Yoshi's been showing up in a lot of games recently. I think Yoshi had been recently added to the Mario universe or something like that. And so they put him in here as a reference to draw attention to that. This game is heavily inspired by other Mario games. Well, not other Mario games, other Nintendo titles. Yeah, they left the description in, but they said he's been in many games now. Whoa, you won the Yoshi doll! We've been trying to get that for years. Our mom is... Yeah, I didn't leave that on screen long enough. But yeah, they also add a secret seashell in here. There's actually 2 secret seashells you can get playing the trendy game. I think I decided to put it off for now, because the trendy game is, you know, not so good to keep playing like that over and over again for the pacing of a video like this. So I figured I'd put it off till later. Alright, so it's back into the house to give the Yoshi doll to the mom so we can start the trading sequence. Oh, will you give that Yoshi doll to my baby? Yes. Oh, thank you. You're indeed a generous person. I will give you this in return. Ooh, Yoshi doll for a ribbon. Maybe you can trade the ribbon for something else. Maybe. We shall see. Alright, I forgot to name the places. This is Mabe Village. It's very Mabe. I am hilarious. Anyway, you take the ribbon to the little doggy we talked to here. Makeup, jewels, dresses, I want it all. Oh, that ribbon, I need it. Will you trade it for my dog food? Lucky, thanks. Well, here's your dog food. I went a little too fast. I really should have recorded the audio at the same time. You know what? Forget it. We're already doing it this way, and I'm having fun doing it this way. So we are going to keep going. Anyway, up here is the fishing pond. No record set yet. Give it a try. How about some fishing, little buddy? I'll only charge you 10 rupees. Yeah, sure. Okay, here's how you do it. Hold A and release it to cast your line out. The longer you hold it, blah, 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 blah. You can tug on your line by moving L. If you want to reel it in a hurry, keep tapping A. You've got this, little buddy. Sure we do. Alright, so fishing in this game, yeah, really isn't that complicated. Just let the thing float there in front of the fish, and then you reel in after it bites on. I think it's possible for the fish to escape, and I don't know if you have to release it to make it easier or not. I don't know. I didn't really try to fish too much. Let's see, 13.35, and he gives us 13 rupees for it. And I do believe the first fish you catch will always have a piece of heart with it. In the original game, you had to catch all the fish. Yeah, sure, let's keep going. So, more astute viewers will probably notice that near the bottom of the screen there, yeah, I'm trying to get it now, but there is a empty bottle there. That is a new feature for the remaster. They've added in some empty bottles. I believe there are 3 in total, but I only grabbed 2 of them. Well, I only grabbed 2 of them on this playthrough. The empty bottles, they function differently than how they do in other Zelda games. In this one, you can catch a fairy in an empty bottle, and I believe those are the only things you can catch. And then the fairy, they don't actually revive you if you lose all your hearts like they do in other Zelda games. There's already an item for that, and I guess they didn't want to remove it. So instead, you have to release the fairy on your own terms, and then that'll get it, and then it'll restore your health the same as if you had caught it normally. But yeah, you saw that fish, the big fish, only nibbled at it, and I reeled in too quickly, so I didn't get a chance to try and catch him. Just like you, it's small, but it has plenty of fight. Aww. And he gave us 11 rupees for it. How sweet. But yeah, to get the bottle in this pond, to get the bottle out of the pond, what you have to do is you have to make sure it doesn't bump into any fish while you're reeling it in, which is a bit trickier, or a bit tricky to do because the fish keep spawning in. They'll just keep respawning until... Well, yeah, they'll keep respawning and respawning, so you can't get the pond completely empty. It's pretty unfortunate. I think I try one more time to try and get the bottle, or 2 more times. If it drags on too long, I'll just cut it out. But on the hero mode, actually, I did try to get this bottle, thinking, oh hey, I can capture fairies and use them later. But as it turns out, the normal ways you would get fairies weren't in the hero version, so they just made it significantly tougher. And I honestly don't really care for that. They removed all heart drops from the hero mode. I wouldn't recommend it even if you're a hardcore fan. It's just horrible. There we go. So yeah, I kept trying to reel this thing in, and he eventually, I think he got away. Yeah, I don't know if they have a random chance to just get away like that, or if it's, or if it was something I could have done better. But I decided to just give up fishing for the rest of the game because I didn't really care. I went back to get the bottle later, and that's when I figured out how it works. Anyway, here we are, Mysterious Forest. Woot! Ho, brave lad, on your quest to wake the dreamer. Welcome to the mysterious forest. Much of the mystery you will find on this uncharted Coolant Island. I'm afraid you may find it a trifle difficult to leave this island until the windfish wakes. By the by, have you ever visited the Tail Cave? Go there with the key you find... Oh, wait. Oh, wow. I scrolled through that very quickly. You know, it's fine. We're leaving it in. We're gonna leave it in. He was basically just giving us directions. They did make this game a bit easier than the original, oddly enough, which is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it's a very big accomplishment considering Link's Awakening was never difficult in the first place. Anyway, that is a Guardian Acorn. Wow, this looks pretty heavy. You won't be able to lift it as you are now. But Guardian Acorn will have the damage you take for a short time. As a raccoon, my nose is very sensitive to stuff like dust and powder. But the, oh, you're going to get lost thanks to me. And then he just teleports us to a random part of the mysterious forest. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about the Guardian Acorn, but let's talk to her instead. You've still got plenty of pep. Come see me when you feel like you can't go on. She restores your health. Anyway. Guardian Acorns, and then their equivalent, a piece of power, which will double the Link's damage output. Those I've only seen in Link's Awakening. I haven't seen them pop up in other Zelda games after this one. I guess the closest equivalent would be Grandma's Soup in Wind Waker. Because after you drink that one, you deal double damage for a bit, and it fully restores your health, which the piece of power does not do. It's very, very, very handy. I thought I was saying something else first. You know what? I lost my train of thought. If it's that important, I'll just have to add it back in somehow. I don't know. Anyway. You want to go through this cave first. Make sure you don't stay too long on those cracked floors. They will break if you stand on them. Oh look, 50 rupees. Very nice. Very nice is an understatement. Oh right, I was talking about how they somehow made the game easier, which is a huge accomplishment because it wasn't that difficult to begin with. Like, Link's Awakening is pretty small. Yeah, the skulls are pretty heavy, so you can't lift them just yet. But the world for Link's Awakening is pretty small, so you can pretty much figure out exactly where you need to go, even if you don't pay attention to the story. They made these guys tougher to fight, actually. Or, well, I guess they're actually easier. It's tough to say. You picked up the toadstool. As you hold it over your head, a mellow... Yeah, I went through those screens way too quickly. Oh, I remembered trying to leave them on screen long enough for me to read them, but I guess I just didn't. You know what? Whatever. It's fine. Anyway, the Coolant Island is small enough that you can make progress even if you're just stumbling around with no idea where to go or what to do. They give you plenty of hints on where to go and what to do. But the remaster, they just added more of those hints. But even without them, you can stumble across the right place to go, no problem. Link's Awakening is an extremely easy game. Definitely a good Zelda game to pick up if you're interested in the series, but you don't know if you can. But you don't know if you're ready for it or ready for Zelda. Yeah, those. There we go, that's a piece of power, so that's gonna double my damage output until it wears off. It seems like Link also runs a bit faster while he has a piece of power or a Guardian Acorn active, which is good, because they are on a strict time limit. Anyway, we gotta make our way to the witch's hut here. We give her the toadstool. And unlike in the original, you don't have to equip it. Ah, it has the Tiki Toadstool, it does. We'll mix it up something in a jiffy, we will. I love this cutscene. Adorable. It's all ready, it is. Take care, as there's not much there. Why not try a bit in my hut, huh? You got some magic powder! Open the subscreen with plus and set it to either X or Y. So yeah, this is the first item we can equip. Good job! Use it on your enemies and see what happens. If you run out, go to the forest, pick some toadstools, and I will make you more. Come back without a toadstool, and you may have to pay a price for my leftovers. Aw, that's sweet. Yeah, and Link can't lift pots yet. He can't break them yet, either. It's very unfortunate, you know, Link and his pots. Oh hey, my piece of power is still active. I thought it would have worn off. Anyway, hit those green guys with the powder, and then you can talk to them. I'm a change blob, and that's not all I have to say. He probably says more, but I didn't check. I think they might have said more in the original, I think. I'm not too sure, but they said something if you hit them with the magic powder in the original game, and I think it was a reference to another Nintendo title. But since this was the 4th Zelda game they ever made, it's tough to know exactly what they were going on about. Or at least I don't know what they were going on about. I was just a kid back then. And as the kids in this game have already demonstrated, kids don't know shit. Well, actually, they know a lot of stuff, but they don't know why. It's always important to know why. Anyway, use the magic powder on the raccoon to make progress. He's supposed to bounce around the whole screen, but he got stuck between me and the plants. Oh, look, it's Terran.
Yeah.
The last thing I can remember was biting into a big, juicy toadstool. Then I had the darndest dream. I was a raccoon. Yeah, sounds strange, but it sure was fun. I'm all tuckered out. I think I better set a cell before I head home. That sounds like a good idea, Terran. You got the tail key. Now you can open the tail cave gate. Ew. Hoot, take the key and go to the tail cave. Retrieve the instrument that is hidden there. Go now. The windfish is waiting. Hoot. I think I got a bit of a weird accent there. I don't know what I want to do for the owl. I don't like the owl. So maybe I should do something more insulting. Anyway, I'm going to call that here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.